Hey, it's Chuck Armstrong with Loudwire Nights, and this is Loudwire Nights On Demand. It was such a privilege to get to hang with Bud Gaugh, founding drummer of Sublime, and talk all about the history of Sublime and the future of Sublime. This first aired on Friday, May 24th. Enjoy. There are bands that transcend generations, that transcend genres, and sadly, sometimes that transcend tragedies and losses. And one such band that does all of that and much more, no doubt, is Sublime. And tonight we are celebrating brand new music from the band, and we're going to dive into what that means with founding member and drummer Bud Gaugh. Bud, man, thank you so much for hanging tonight.
Yeah, it's good to see you.
So let me just say right out of the gate, congrats on this new Sublime track. It's called Feel Like That, just came out today, and it's pulled from the vaults. I think this one comes from 1996. It features Brad Nowell's vocals, as well as his son, Jakob. He sings on this. And on top of that, it's released from Sublime's original label, Skunk Records. So there's a lot here, man. And you could just read through those bullet points and get excited. But I want to know for you, as a guy who's been with this band since day one, who's been through the highs and the tragic lows, like, how has it felt revisiting this song?
Oh, it's been amazing. Working with Stick Figure, those guys are great. And had a lot of fun with them. And, working with Jakob now, never in a million years did I think that would ever be a thing, especially back then. Thought, well, we might jam campfire style or something like that, but never like to this effect. And then now after the fact, having Jake on a track with his dad, oh man, that is just, that's love in itself right there. It doesn't get much better than that. And just being able to go back like mentally, where were we when we were tracking that song, and it was funny because I was just going through a box of old stuff and found like a list of finished songs that were contenders for the album, for the self-titled album. We were going to call it Killing It at the time. So it was
what were you going to what were you going to call it?
Killing It. Killing It was the name of the album back then. And the artwork on the inner tray of the CD, the clown, that was going to be the actual title cover, the album cover there. So yeah, we changed some things around, but it was funny finding this handwritten notes from 95, 96, like what I thought about the songs, and there was some songs that didn't make it and some songs that did, and so it was really cool like seeing that. But yeah, that song was not finished yet, and I know that there was some nights where we just ran tape, and there was ideas that we just never came back and completed. So
see, that's got to be such a trip then, yeah, to like, you probably somewhere in your brain had this song, a memory of the song, but to actually have it pulled out and revisit it, man, that had to be pretty incredible.
Yeah, it was. And it turned out so good too.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't wait for everyone to hear it. I mean, we were, things happen for a reason sometimes, and sometimes your ego, your stubbornness can get in the way of how it's supposed to happen and when it's supposed to happen. We were really wanted to release this. We were excited when we heard the collaboration with Stick Figure, and then our previous management, for whatever reason, wouldn't release it, and there was always an excuse as to why not, and then this gave us time to put Jakob on the track with his dad. And so now, the waiting for so long kind of actually made it a better, songs.
No, it's incredible to think about Jakob being on this with Brad, and Jacob's addition kind of to this world is relatively new, right? But this seems extra special, right, to have him join his dad on the track. What has that been like? I mean, you kind of talked about you never thought about this happening. What has it been like for you to see Jakob get involved and to be part of that with him?
It's incredible. Like, this whole journey, like back together. I wasn't planning on it. I'm sitting here just being dad and but I mean, all of our relationships are tighter now because of this. we're all talking on a regular basis. Eric called me last night and was asking me where he could get race fuel because he's just finishing up this race buggy, and he's like, hey man, I need to get this C12 racing fuel. Do you know what that is? Like, oh yeah, yeah. So, I mean, it's just like we're camping together. My kids meeting Eric and Thea, camping and outside of music and so it's all really really cool stuff. And being there and watching Jake, like I saw him come through town with his Jacob's Castle project, the first rendition of it. Seeing him play live, I was just so impressed. Like, it's like, man, he really controls the audience. He brings the audience into his song. These people don't know anything that he's doing right now, because this is the very first rendition of this new journey that he's on there, and it was like, wow, he really really has some of his dad's mannerisms and just was really super impressed with the way he was able to work this room. And so watching him grow from that and seeing where he's at now with the Jacob's Castle is amazing in itself. And being able to jam with him and do this and have him be all a part of it, and it's all coming back around family style.
I love that, man. I love you could just tell like the joy and the excitement, like it's coming out of your voice, man. Like I don't want to phrase this in an insensitive way, but has it been a while since you've been this excited about kind of Sublime in this sort of iteration, or in the 21st century, however you want to phrase it?
Absolutely. I mean, it's like I was saying, we're all on the same page, all looking in the same direction, a one unified voice and mindset, and it's just we're all working together, family style, and the love has really come back into the fold here, and it's been an amazing experience, this whole thing. And like I said, I wasn't planning on this, and being able to bring my kids, my family, into this world. I mean, they never got to experience this stuff. I think my daughter was like in third grade when somebody broke it to her that I was on the radio, and she was like, well, why didn't you tell me this? And I was like, well, I'm just a dad, and that was
Yeah.
So
yeah, and man, I love that too, because you said doing this like a family, and that's really how it feels. And I think that's the same like with fans, right? And I'm curious, just as you look back, and as you no doubt have reflected on so much, but also as you really, it seems like trying to enjoy this in the present. What do you think it is about Sublime that has allowed this music and these experiences in this family to not just exist all these years, but really, I mean, Sublime finds new fans, and whether it's Jakob doing his own thing or being part of this, like, he's being connected to new fans. I mean, what is it about Sublime and this music that has been able to grow and attract new people and reach out to new generations over the years?
Our songs, we were just singing about our own personal experiences, the experiences of our friends, or our experience of our friends' experience, and just really, speaking truths about life, and there's something, the whole dramedy of life is in there. So, you have this mixture of emotions and feelings in the songs and the lyrics. Some of the melodies are timeless. We got lucky with that, and but the lyrics, we were singing and playing the music that felt good and right to us. We weren't trying to be anyone else. We were just doing our own thing, and I think that that staying true to ourselves in our art is what gave us the longevity. A lot of times, I mean, as soon as we signed, the record labels were like, hey, there's that one song is a hit on the radio. Maybe you guys could write a song that sounds just like that one, and it's like, Well, but that's not what we sound like, and I kind of, yeah, maybe you should sign that band. You know, so,
No, I think you're right, man.
we
That's
were team
exactly it.
players.
Like you think about bands that have lasted and not just lasted, but grown and kind of found new meaning in their music. Like it's that authenticity, it's that realness, whatever you want to call it. And you guys had that, and you still have that. And I think bringing Jakob into this just kind of highlights that even more. But I got to ask you, what's the future of Sublime look like? Are there more songs that are going to get pulled out of the vaults that you guys might kind of bring to light?
So yeah, I think we're gonna go and dive back into some of these old reels and see what's there. And maybe we can bring some of these unfinished songs back to life. But we're right now we're focusing on what we have in front of us, which are these live shows. And Sublime was always a live performing act, and so we did a lot of our creativity, on stage, getting to that point where we can be improvisational and just jamming out on stage when we can get a long enough set time. then then the creative juices will start flowing for writing some brand new material. So we're just taking our time, just jamming out. Like these first the first two big shows were huge. Coachella, we just drop in cold. No sound check. No real time to warm up. There's 80,000 people in front of you and 1 million people streaming. Here you go. Good luck, Chuck. And it's like, yeah, 50 minutes. 48 because you were started off a couple minutes late. Now the first one we're running as many songs as we can, trying to. This is going to be a great set if we do all of these songs. And it's like, oh yeah, we had like one too many songs, and we're trying to jam them in there real too fast. It was just so learning curve. It's all starting back up over again. And this after Coachella, we did the Brightside Festival in Florida, and that was a little bit different because we did a sound check that day, and we got a feel for how everything was laid out. It made a big difference. We didn't have a rushed set time. We were playing last, so we could kind of stretch things out a little bit. We added a song in the middle of the set, kind of changing up our set list on the fly. So we're finding our groove, and I can only imagine by the end of the year where we're going to be at. It's really, really super exciting. And so, by the end of the year, we'll have a better idea of where we're going, but we're moving forward.
Awesome, man. I love hearing that. I love hearing about the vaults. I love hearing about, getting on the stage and getting creative and writing new music. I love hearing all about the live experience. And so, Bud Gaugh of Sublime, just thank you so much for hanging tonight, man. What a privilege to get to catch up, chat about all of this. Congrats on the new song, Feel Like That. And I'll say congrats on all that's to come. And hopefully we can have you back on the show soon.
Right on. Cheers, brother.
That wraps up this episode of Loudwire Nights on Demand. Stay caught up with everything happening in the world of rock and metal on the Loudwire app and at loudwire.com.